all the element called format ID. Here 15.
It's like you're sitting in the forest, you know, and you hear like some water dropping, and the wind comes through, and then there's somebody says, there's all these things going on. They create this landscape. So that's what we're doing together. We're just each contributing a specific sound to that overall textural landscape, whatever it is. The first step is just accepting, okay, well, this is what it is. I understand this, it makes sense. Letting it happen long enough that you know what it is and everybody else knows what it is. Being consistent enough in what we're each doing that everybody can hear your part and understand what it is you're contributing to this texture. Because it's not really until you do that that you're able to move to another thing in a way that's conscious, right? You know what I mean? It's like if you never know where you are, then it's really hard to go to the next place. This exercise is really more about establishing something and seeing what it feels like to have this bed of texture just happening. You know, what happens if we all choose this little thing to do and they all hang out there together? What does it feel like? What's it about?
All right. It's different when you're listening to each other or to one another.
Mm-hmm.
Because you hear it now and you hear there was someone playing piano and there before there was a conversation happening outside.
Right. We're actually all here doing it together, so we are actually reacting to each other and creating relationships between what we're doing. You know, and that's when it gets interesting, right? Choosing, I mean, the very first thing to do is you choose a thing to do, and that's why I start the very first class with just the idea of choosing to do a thing, right? So that's the first part. Everybody chooses a thing to do. But then once we've all chosen, then the fun part and the interesting part is how do these things relate to each other? What are the relationships that are possible in these set of things? Right? And that's when it goes from me playing a thing to us improvising a thing together. That's when it goes from me making a sound to us creating a composition out of these sounds, like how we choose to relate and who we choose to relate to and when. Right? So it's an exercise in, as an improviser, as a composer, here's the set of materials I have. How does what I'm doing relate to any of these things in different ways? And how, when I change that relationship, does it change how the overall texture feels and sounds? So you're taking a really small amount of materials and playing with them and seeing what happens. And once we get used to hearing and understanding those materials quickly, then there's all these possibilities that open up about how to play with them as a group, compositionally. But the first thing is we just need a little practice in getting comfortable with the idea that this is like a real thing that we're doing. You know, these relationships are real relationships, and they have meaning, and there's something going on here that's worth looking at.